Welcome back to SourceFedNERD. Today, this beautiful man, Philip Molina, and I, Slam Branshaw, will be dissecting those Inhuman set photos that were posted online.
We are?
Yeah.
To get everybody up to speed, Marvel has teamed up with ABC and IMAX to bring the Inhumans to the big, and small screens. The first 2 episodes of the 8-episode series will be filmed entirely with IMAX cameras, those heavy-ass cameras, and released in theaters starting Labor Day weekend for 2 weeks, and then the remaining episodes will be on ABC.
Editors, can you put the date for Labor Day on the screen? Thank you so much. The entire series won't be shot in IMAX, but it will feature a few sequences that will be shot in IMAX, including a sequence on the moon.
That's right!
The moon.
But none of those set photos look like the moon, right?
Yeah, wait. No, yeah, you're right. You got a point there. Over the weekend, photos of actor Anson Mount and a giant blue dog statue were posted online, although nothing super is happening in these shots, but it does confirm that Lockjaw will be in the Inhuman series.
What the fuck is a Lockjaw?
That big Clifford statue. He's a 2,000-pound teleporting Inhuman.
Yes, of course. How could I forget? In global superhero popularity, it goes Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Lockjaw, Wolverine.
Exactly. But for everyone who has questions, let's explain. We've spoken about the Inhumans before in previous videos, which you can check out right up here, but let's do a rundown of our cast and figure out who these characters are.
So right off the bat, what's an Inhuman?
Oh, they're sort of like mutants, but the MCU can't use mutants, so we'll just supplement them with Inhumans, but which is pretty cool because the Inhumans are like 10 times more powerful than mutants. Pretty cool. They're a race of superpowered individuals living on and around planet Earth. Millennia ago, the Kree, a race of aliens, came down to Earth and experimented on early humans. They mixed Kree DNA with human DNA, granting these people abilities and sometimes physical transformations. They were meant to be soldiers in a Kree war, but this project was abandoned when the Kree received a prophecy that the Inhumans would one day bring the downfall of the Kree Empire.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm not Kree, I don't care. Then the early Inhumans start getting together with humans, and their abilities and physical differences actually went away and became dormant.
Now those differences can manifest in modern day Inhumans when they're exposed to a substance called Terrigen or the Terrigen Mist. They go through a metamorphosis process called Terrigenesis, and out pops a new super person or a monster.
In the comics, the most popular Inhumans are part of the Inhuman Royal Family, and those individuals are going to be the stars of this 8-part series.
Now let's talk about Anson Mount's character, Black Bolt. Black Bolt is one of the powerhouses of Marvel Comics. Black Bolt is one of the powerhouses of Marvel Comics and the head of the Inhuman family. He is a king and cares for his people and protects them from any threat, while also sometimes stepping out to protect the world in general.
And his power is freaking terrifying. His voice is one of the most powerful weapons in the entire universe. Like, if you were to whisper, it could take down a whole city. If you were to scream, there would be a lot of people dying. Okay, yes, every superhero team has the Sonic-based fighter, but his abilities are gonna be like 10 levels above what Black Canary or Banshee could do.
Usually Black Bolt wears this classic bodysuit with lightning bolts on his chest and a tuning fork on his forehead. In the set photos, however, the tuning fork is nowhere to be seen, but it looks like there's like subtle bolts stitched onto his jacket. Although Marvel is a little bit weird about giving characters their costumes, I think we should all be patient because I feel like we're gonna get the tuning fork and maybe possibly the wings at some point in this series.
Are they really gonna be like,
Or what if an explosion goes off and it gets
jammed in his forehead? Is everybody else okay? And he's just looking around.
Everyone's like, Jesus, I'm so sorry.
Tuning fork. Next up, we have Medusa, played by Serinda Swan. For a majority of the comics, Medusa has been the queen of the Inhumans and the wife of Black Bolt. Her Inhuman ability comes from her hair, Medusa. She's got full control over every single strand, so do I. Also, to top it off, she's an expert fighter, because of course. So no matter what, you just don't want to get on her bad side.
Also, fun tidbit, Serinda Swan also batted for the other superhero team in the past. Remember when she played Zatanna on Smallville? Nope, it's just me. Always just gonna be me. We're just gonna keep trucking along. Here we go.
You gave it all 14 seasons?
Jesus.
Then we have my boy Ewan Rian, and we're gonna see him bring Maximus the Mad to life for the first time. Maximus is the brother to Black Bolt, but he's also a gifted inventor. Now, Ewan made a name for himself over on Game of Thrones as Ramsay Bolton, who, if you don't know, a real sinister mad dog type of character, and I feel like Marvel saw his performance there and they were just like, oh, dibs.
Oh, dibs. Maximus in the early years is vying for his brother's crown and always trying to weasel his way into power using his intellect. I'm actually really excited to see Ewan's portrayal of this character. But next, we should talk about Crystal, one of my favorite Inhumans. I stumbled across her when I was learning about Quicksilver because they got hitched in the comics and became the first Inhuman mutant power couple. Isabel Cornish will be playing Crystal in the series, and may I say, she is quite beautiful.
Oh, did you already propose?
Why would you think that? Whatever. I'm not that sad. Crystal is Medusa's sister and is basically the Avatar.
Ponytail genitals and all.
Close. Nickelodeon Avatar, so shave it. She has control over all 4 elements, and then you can cross that with electrical manipulation and so on, so she's pretty powerful. I'm actually really excited to see her abilities on screen almost as much as Lockjaw, but I'm a little bit more excited for Lockjaw.
Sure you are. Okay. Next up we have Karnak, who's played by Ken Loom from Lost and Rush Hour, and most recently Force Awakens.
I loved him in Lost.
I loved him in The Last Stand, where he played the greatest mutant of all. Ow!
He's always just kind of holding it back. He's like, ugh.
God, this comes out my butt and everything. Luckily, not his eyes. Karnak is Black Bolt's cousin, and his ability is pretty kick-ass. He can find the flaw in anything, like in a person, in a structure, even a plan that you might be devising. Anything.
Anything. He'd be awful on a date. You'd be like, oh, you don't like to smile a lot because you're nervous about your teeth.
But it would be helpful to have him on your side in a fight.
Karnak also serves as a priest and a philosopher for the Inhumans and is the royal family's chief strategist.
Oh, cause duh.
His character designs also makes him look pretty kick-ass, so I can't wait to see Ken take on that role.
Moving on to Mike Moe from Empire. He's gonna be playing Triton, the aquatic Inhuman. You always gotta have an aquatic. He's got green skin, the ability to survive underwater, and top-notch athletic skills, because you always have to have that too. Triton is actually a really valuable member of the royal family, though.
Also, he's always the one that keeps his cool. It's underwater. One bummer is that most Inhuman abilities come with a downside, like how Black Bolt can't speak without destroying everything that he loves. Triton can't really exist on dry land.
Unless he has like a special breathing apparatus, kind of like Abe in Hellboy.
Yeah.
I hope Marvel goes a more practical route with his character design, but either way, I'm excited by all this diversity in the cast and characters.
Moving on down the list, we have Gorgon, who will be played by Emmy Iquaker. Gorgon is another cousin of Black Bolt and has the ability to create seismic shockwaves with his feet.
He's got a Mr. Tumnus vibe, but, you know, more badass. And he runs the Inhuman military, because it looks like someone you don't want to mess with. Imagine getting kicked by him.
All your bones would melt right out of your body. Next up, we have Orin, who will be played by Sonia Balmorius.
Now, she doesn't have the longest history in Marvel Comics, but she does play an important role. So Orin is part of the Inhuman security force, and she uses her ears and detective skills to protect her people, mostly her ears.
Her ears allow her to hear over great distances and can even pinpoint specific sounds or words. Better not be talking behind her back because she will hear you and she will beat the snot out of you. All these people are starting to sound real scary.
I like how she has detective skills, but really she just has that good of hearing. Oh, I'm the best detective. No, I heard it.
I hear the evidence.
But yes, this show is starting to sound awesome. There is one more person who was cast, an actress named Ellen Woglum, but her character is yet to be revealed. She looks to maybe be our audience surrogate for the series. She doesn't look to be an Inhuman, but someone who maybe gets brought along on the adventure, and then we learn about all this secret world through her.
And finally, we have Lockjaw. Just one more time, he's a giant bulldog-like creature who is an escort for the royal family, teleporting them all over the world and sometimes off-world, depending on where their hidden city ATTN is located. From the previous statement about going to the moon, it sounds like ATTN will be in its classic moon base form, but we might see it transferred to the New York Harbor like it is in the comics, or maybe in a floating base. Who knows?
I'm excited to see what showrunner Scott Buck and the rest of the team can do with these characters and the stories, and what's gonna happen in the rest of the MCU. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. already did dabble with Inhumans for 3 seasons, but they couldn't use any of the characters that people had ever heard of before. But does that mean the movies are finally gonna acknowledge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Are they gonna reconnect there? Should we expect to see the Inhumans in Avengers Infinity War? That's a maybe. Let us know your thoughts and feelings about the cast down below.
Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe, and click that notification icon in the YouTube app to stay up to date on all of our videos.
I'm Philip.
And I'm Slam. We'll see you guys next time. The wind from that felt like I got hit, and I got scared.
Try it again.
Has been removed from Marvel's calendar. Let's do some investigating and figure out what the heck happened. Actually, first, let's figure out who these Inhumans are. Oh, look at that Mattel Classic football game that Star-Lord has. He's retrofitted it to track the interdimensional tentacle point. Monsters. Slip of the tongue.